So we're back with another edition of What Would Rachel Do? So this time I am very grateful to Joy, who has sent me her design. So this is Joy's design, and this is for a brochure ad. So it's a little bit different. I've only done social media posts before, but this is a brochure ad. So you can see, I'm guessing that this is Joy's brand colours because her logo is in the same colour. So everything is in those brand colours. So that's Joy's original um, design, and I am going to see how I would do something different with it. So let's just, I just need to zoom in a little bit and have a look. So the bee is part of Joy's logo, so that's why the bee is appearing, and that's great. And this is a lovely photo of Joy down here. So we're going to go and have a look and see how we would do it differently. So if you've never watched one of these before, what I do is I keep the original and then I make a copy and I change the copy, and that way we can flick between the two to see what changes I'm making. So the first thing I'm going to say is there is a lot of text here, but we remember that this is an advert and it's not a social media post. So adverts are going to have more information, more text on them. So that is the first thing that I would say. We have to look at this slightly differently. But what I'm also going to say is that blue for me is a little bit difficult to read. And again, we're doing this on a screen, whereas this is going to be in print. Let's just make it 100%. So at 100% it's actually easier to read. But still, I think I might just look at um, maybe changing the background colour to that blue and then changing that font into, I think all of it needs to change into a white then. So I might look at that, but then that yellow is starting to look a little bit lost. So maybe let's just see how it looks with the yellow instead and make that dark. Maybe that, but then all of the logos and everything need to change. Hmm. I think the yellow stands out better. We'd need to change Joy's logo into, and I don't know whether the colours are specific, Joy. I'm sorry that I don't know your logo inside out, but let's just look at that. Hmm. So maybe that stands out better. I also think that Joy needs to stand out better. So I'm just going to ungroup that for a second. And what I'm going to do, detach the image. Joy will probably be having a little meltdown that she's so huge on the screen. Just get rid of that frame. Pop that bee over there for a second. Because I think that Joy needs to be on this graphic somewhere. So let's just, oh, hang on. Let's group all this back together. She says, group it back together. It's already grouped. Ha. Mhm. So we're going to put the details there, and we're just going to have Joy in this corner. Maybe just above the line. There we go. So we've kept that blue border, and now we've got Joy. Hang on, we just need to get rid of these graphics because they're coming out of her head. We'll keep the bee because the bee is part of the logo. Because I think if you are looking for some support in your business, then you would like to know who's going to be supporting you. So having this photo of a very smiley Joy, I know she had her photo on the other one, but it was teeny tiny, and she's actually much more important than that. So she deserves a bigger space. So the B, I say the B is part of the logo, so we keep the B on there. We might change the colours up a little bit for all of the Bs, maybe. Might even bring the B down here now because there's a little bit of a gap, so I might just have the B there. And then I think the title, I'm not going to change the font because I'm guessing that this is Joy's brand fonts. So I am going to change this into a darker colour just so that it stands out better now on that yellow background. And then I think I would just change the actual text a little bit so that it's a little bit easier to read. And I'm not saying that this is difficult to read, but when you have an advert, you need to you just get people scan reading things. So what I would do is just change this up a little bit. Um, and maybe make it bullet points. So, or will we make bullet points? Maybe we would just have some little emojis in here. So I might just pop that onto a new line. Can you see that my brain is working overtime here? So we might go, emails are piling up. Oh, invoices need sorting. And your to-do list never stops growing. Your to-do list. There we go. And I am going to just bolden Joy Friday because it's important that we are seeing Joy Friday and relating it to help. And this bit, you can focus on what truly matters. I think I am going to bolden that and maybe italicize it as well. Yes. And if this was a social media post, then I would definitely animate this more time, less stress, maximum productivity bit because I think that is important. But I think for this, I'm going to bolden it and then center it just that it stands out a little bit better. Actually, I might change the color of that so it stands out even more. What does that look like in white? Yeah. So I don't think that Joy needs all of these icons on the right-hand side. I think that we can cope with a picture of Joy because she is the one that's sorting this stuff out. And actually, there's very little else that I would change to this. Because I say because it's an advert, it's slightly different to a social media post. Um, just let me just check how this looks if I center all of that. See, I think that might look a little bit better than it being all rigid down the left-hand side. Hmm, possibly. So I don't think that we need to fill this space here. I think we could we could put some more bees in. We could put some of these icons back in. But actually, I think this text bit is what people are going to be looking at, and they're obviously going to be drawn in by this lovely picture of Joy. So let me know what you think. Is Joy's original version more your style or my updated version, is that more your style? Just let me know which you prefer. Thanks for watching.